Brew Day. Today is a beer I'm brewing with LUPOMAX hops. Let me get what this is exactly. Let me pull it up. It says LUPOMAX is a new concentrated pellet that is consistent, efficient, and optimized for hop flavor. LUPOMAX has less vegetative matter compared to regular hop pellets. So you get hop pellets that are bigger, bolder, and brighter. You get less beard loss, of course. That's it in a nutshell. And it says it's used about 70-75% of what you normally would use for a hop. Where cryo hops is like 50% of what you would use. And you're looking at like 25 IBUs for those. So what I got here is Amarillo LUPOMAX. And now it's at 14%. 9.3% is this regular Amarillo, straight up regular. Citra is 13%. This is the regular Citra. LUPOMAX is 18%. And then I got Mosaic here, 18%, LUPOMAX, 11.2% regular. This is somewhat of a session IPA, and Sarah is breastfeeding and she wants to have like a low ABV beer that she can enjoy sometimes. I'm brewing it for her, about 4.5% I'm going for, and so target starting gravity is like 1050, 1048, somewhere in that range. Just 2-row, mashing a little higher, like 155 degrees Fahrenheit. To get a little more dextrin, so it's not as thin. A little more chlorides I'm going for, like in the 100 range. And so just a little more body into it. I usually like to do flaked oats in these session beers. Again, a little more body. And then I'm using the Verdant yeast, which I've been using for last 2 beers I've done. The last IPA I used for it was great. I'll split it up each in a 1 gallon keg, each gallon, and do a side by side. Let's really hope one of them does not get oxidized. And that's the main goal, is not to be oxidized. That is the goal. Okay, let's mash in. So there's almost never a brew day where something doesn't go a little wrong for me. Of course, the scale shows like points of grams. So like 1.002 grams isn't working. I can't get it to the gram side. This does show grams, but only as whole numbers. So like 1, 2, 3. There's no decimals involved. So I don't know exactly how much salt I put in this. So whatever. I wouldn't even know the difference anyway. Let's be honest. It's just salts. $10.46. Oh, I need to get to $10.50. Well, I might be a little bit higher than I thought. Full disclosure, I did mash for like an hour and a half, maybe close to 2 hours. I mashed in. We went to lunch with Daisy. You know, just kind of hanging out, doing a family day. And so maybe that's why I'm a little better efficiency. But we'll see how it is after the boil. I have this at 195 degrees. I'm actually going to start my boil now. Well, the 60-minute boil now. Because I'm like at 72% efficiency, which is better than I've been getting in a while. Usually I get like 66 with this, which is fine. I don't care. But I wasn't planning for it. So I want to keep this a little lower ABV. That was my goal. So we'll start it now before it actually hits the boil. And then in 30 minutes, add the first dose of hops. So I've been having a lot of success with using like Warrior or Magnum at bittering. But I'm just going to go straight up the ones I have. So my bittering hops are going to be one of those 3. Citra is what I chose. Regular Citra, not LUPOMAX Citra. Half an ounce, 2 gallons, or 2 gallons finishing. Well, 2.25 gallons exactly to be finishing. But the IBUs on that I think are like 45 or so total throughout the boil. Then I'll do a 10-minute addition. Let's go to that now. Okay, so I got 0.25 ounces each of the Mosaic Citra and Amarillo. There they are, and in they go. All right, I have like 2 minutes left in the boil, and I'm at 10:52. Great, a light boil, started a little early, and we're on track. I decided to put the hops in without being contained in a container. I haven't done that in a while, but I was like, it's only like 0.75 ounces. What's the worst that can happen? This. It's getting clogged, so I have to like scrape it off. But it's all good. It's all good. I have 0.15 ounces of LUPOMAX for the first initial dry hop. And then now the regular pellets is 0.25 ounces. Verdant yeast. And eyeball it, sprinkle it on top. All right, there you go. Fermenting at like 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go to the next step. Welcome to the next step. I have everything prepared. I have my mosaic pellets here, LUPOMAX, Amarillo here. I have a package of vacuum sealed that I did for the ones that I opened. So what I'm going to do is do 0.2 ounces of each pellet for LUPOMAX. That'll be 0.6 ounces for a 1 gallon batch. For the other one, the regular pellets, 0.25 ounces each. That's 0.75 ounces for a 1 gallon batch. I tend to do 0.75 ounces per gallon for normal pellets. These you can go a little bit less on. They say do about 70% of what you normally would, which is what I said earlier in the video, but that's what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm gonna keg these now. All right, let's go to the tasting. Tasting the beers. This is the LUPOMAX one. This is the regular pellet one. Let's do a look on the clarity. I don't use gelatin, as I've said before, so these are gonna have a little bit of haze to them. Now this is probably just a little bit of like initial pour haze. I think they're clearer than this if I let them sit a little longer in the glass, warm up a hair. But yeah, there's definitely a little haze on that. Something's happening. Could just be the yeast too, the verdant yeast. Let's get right to it. So the regular one first, let's smell that. Nice smell. It's nice kind of fruity aroma to it. Like tropical fruit smell to it. Sort of guava thing going on there. That's pretty nice. All right, LUPOMAX. Smells very, very, very similar. I'm not getting any more out of the LUPOMAX. They're almost identical in smell. Like they're identical. I'm not getting any difference really on that. Nothing's more pungent, nothing's more hitting me in the nose. You know, dry hop both of these in the keg, dry hop the same amount of time. I think 3/4 of an ounce per gallon on a homebrew scale, especially, like you're just not going to get, your return's going to be just nothing. So if you put like 2 ounces per 1 gallon, your yield is going to be the same in smell, as far as I understand it. But let's see how it tastes. Not that bitter, but nice hoppy profile to it. Similar, sort of little guava in there. Not much pine or anything like that, as I get with some IPAs. More like a nice little bitter sort of guava thing going on. Really refreshing, clean, crisp. It's nice. Yeah, nothing really wrong with that. All right, let's see the taste of the LUPOMAX one. Tastes almost identical. If identical. Let me see. Wow. In a blind taste test, I wouldn't know at all, to be honest with you. But because I'm going side by side, this might have a little bit more bitterness to it. And this might be a little bit softer, but maybe not. They taste identical to me, to be honest. Interesting. So the LUPOMAX, the way I used it, equaling out to be the same amount of what would be normal hops. Yeah, I'm not getting any different on this. Cryo hops, I have gotten a little more pungent aroma using those. I would be curious though in the LUPOMAX to do the exact same amount as I would for normal pellets. So as I said earlier, you know, you're using 70% of what you normally would for LUPOMAX because it's more concentrated. Maybe just use the same amount, go 100%. You know, if I'm gonna throw whatever I normally would for regular pellets, use LUPOMAX as regular pellets, regular dry hopping. Maybe I'll get a little more pungency in that way. It's still great though. I mean, if I had used this and just made a one-off with the LUPOMAX, I would not be complaining at all. But for my experiment just now, this one time off one beer each, I'm not seeing a difference. For what it's worth, if someone wants to try it, go for it, I say. Nice little fun experiment. At the end of the day, all that really matters is that I have 2 really drinkable IPAs that are very low in ABV. But there we go. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.